Taoiseach, I want to raise the issue of the scandal of historical child sex abuse at St John's Ambulance. It's now more than 7 months since you had a report by Dr. Shannon. That report is utterly damning. It found that a past culture had facilitated the potential grooming of children and that the organisation had failed to intervene despite knowledge boys were at risk of abuse. And it concluded that the organisation had failed to act against the perpetrator for years, despite, quote, a significant degree of organisational awareness, end quote, of the risk that he posed to children. Why have the recommendations of the report not been implemented? Why are survivors like Mick Finnegan, who's in the gallery, still forced to campaign for justice, for at the very, very minimum, the recommendations to be implemented? Why are there still 3 people on the board of St John's Ambulance who were either senior officers at the time of the disclosures, who knew what was going on, or were on the board at the time, including the person who is currently the chair? How was one of them involved, incredibly, in adapting lyrics of a song to mock children being abused? How can these people continue on the board? How has there not been a clear out of the board? And how come there is still no national safeguarding officer and no other recommendation? And what is the government going to do? There was a topical issue about this a couple of weeks ago, and the Minister O'Gorman, said he'd written and so on to try and encourage it. He was concerned at the lack of speed, but we need more action by the government to ensure that the recommendations are actually implemented.
Finally, the issue of sexual abuse at St John's Ambulance in the past was raised. I am aware of the report and some of the issues in it. St John's Ambulance isn't a public body and we don't appoint the board, so government has limited influence in terms of what it can do. It does receive some state funding. I'm not sure if that's continuing or not. I can certainly check that out, but I'll have to ask the Minister to come back to you and see if there's more that we can do to encourage the organisation to do what's right, not just by people who were harmed in the past, but also for the future of the organisation itself.